What if you discovered that it is possible to achieve complete healing from any illness in just 3 minutes? Through a biblical principle that doctors worldwide consider scientifically impossible, yet whose results are undeniable, while many patients spend years in treatments that only manage symptoms. A revolutionary healing practice based on Psalm 103 is producing immediate miracles that defy any medical explanation, restoring full health faster than any medication ever created. Cancers disappear, organs regenerate, genetic diseases reverse, and terminal patients leave hospitals completely cured. All in just 3 minutes of applying this ancient spiritual technology that modern science is only now beginning to unravel. The same psalm found in your Bible contains healing frequencies so powerful that doctors are already recording results surpassing any advances in contemporary medicine. Every minute you delay learning this 3-minute healing protocol, your condition may worsen when you could be receiving supernatural intervention. After all, God's healing power is not limited by time, medical reports, or the severity of the diagnosis. Doctors around the world are witnessing something they cannot explain. Complete healings occurring in just 3 minutes through a specific prayer, based on Psalm 103, which activates divine restorative power via a precise spiritual technology. Dr. Rachel Martinez, head of internal medicine at Stanford Hospital, first observed this pattern when a terminal patient with advanced liver failure had their liver fully restored after reading Psalm 103 aloud for exactly 3 minutes during treatment. Liver enzymes normalized instantly, scars vanished, and the organ resumed perfect function, leaving the entire medical team stunned. Since that case, Dr. Martinez has monitored hundreds of similar reports. Always, when patients follow the exact 3-minute protocol, synchronizing their confession with the healing frequency contained in this specific psalm. The major scientific breakthrough occurred when researchers discovered that the Hebrew words of Psalm 103 produce specific sound vibrations that trigger cellular regeneration when spoken with faith and intention for exactly 3 minutes. The opening phrase, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name," activates every organ, cell, and biological system in a synchronized healing process that traditional medicine cannot replicate. When recited slowly and focused for 3 minutes, this declaration generates vibrational patterns that reach the cellular DNA and command sick cells to return to their original healthy state. The 3-minute duration is essential because 180 seconds are needed for these healing frequencies to travel through the entire body and awaken regeneration mechanisms that God placed in human physiology. The most impactful verse of this protocol is verse 3, "Who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases." By calmly repeating this statement for 3 minutes, visualizing God's power flowing through every part of your body, the word "all" removes any exceptions, encompassing every type of illness, disease, or physical dysfunction: cancer, diabetes, heart problems, autoimmune diseases, chronic pain, mental disorders. Every condition responds to this supernatural activation when applied correctly. In Hebrew, the word Rapha used for healing means total restoration to the original state, not just symptom relief, which explains why people experience complete healing rather than temporary improvement when following this specific protocol. The exact time is crucial because 3 minutes represents the ideal period for divine healing. Energy to penetrate all cells and build enough spiritual momentum to override the natural disease process. Less than 3 minutes is not enough time to fully saturate the cells, while exceeding this limit may disperse the intensity required for immediate manifestation. This 3-minute protocol must be performed with full concentration, genuine faith, and total conviction that healing is occurring during the declaration period. Many people feel instant physical changes during the 3 minutes, while others notice complete healing a few hours after finishing the process. The promise of youth renewal, contained in verse 5, "Who satisfied thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles," activates aging reversal mechanisms when included in this 3-minute protocol. Patients who regularly practice this technique report restored energy, improved mental clarity, reversal of aging signs, and renewed physical vitality, appearing and feeling decades younger. The eagle metaphor is scientifically relevant, as eagles actually grow stronger with age. And by declaring this promise for 3 minutes with true faith, the body begins to manifest genetic youth patterns, regardless of chronological age. The generational healing aspect of this method involves breaking disease patterns that have affected family bloodlines for a long time, while establishing covenant health for descendants. By practicing the 3-minute protocol based on Psalm 103, you are not only restoring your own body, but also breaking genetic tendencies and hereditary diseases that may have plagued your family for generations. Children and grandchildren of people who experience healing through this method often develop a natural resistance to diseases that previously affected their family, indicating that spiritual healing can positively influence genetic expression for future generations. The 3 minutes you dedicate today to this protocol can create a health legacy that will protect your descendants. Besides bearing witness to God's healing power to all who witness your miraculous restoration, the revolutionary discovery that human cells immediately respond to specific biblical declarations changed the medical understanding of healing and originated a method that produces extraordinary results in just 3 minutes when properly applied. By declaring the Psalm 103:2-4 verse, "Who redeemeth thy life from destruction, who crowneth thee with loving kindness and tender mercies," directly to sick cells, visualizing divine life force reaching every damaged area, the process of cellular regeneration begins immediately. The Hebrew term for redeem means to buy back or free from captivity, revealing that sick cells are like prisoners that can be freed through proper spiritual communication. Applying the protocol for 3 minutes ensures this message of liberation reaches every affected cell, ordering them to resume their original healthy function. The destruction mentioned in the verse symbolizes all forms of cell death, organ failure, and systemic collapse typical of diseases. By continuously declaring liberation from destruction for 3 minutes, you are practically commanding the death process to cease and reverse, invoking restorative life capable of regenerating any compromised tissue or organ. Cancer cells are eliminated, damaged organs renewed, and failing systems resume function when exposed to this concentrated spiritual communication, which carries the same creative power that formed the universe. The goodness and mercies cited in this psalm represent the gentle way God heals, without trauma or painful side effects. During the 3-minute protocol, communication with the cells happens through a biblical language they recognize and respond to, as they were created by the Word of God. By declaring every cell in my body be restored in the name of Jesus, while confessing Psalm 103, you use the same creative language that originally formed your body and which has the power to remake it now. The cells literally listen and obey divine commands when spoken with authority and faith, causing sick cells to die, damaged cells to regenerate, and healthy cells to multiply to replace what disease has lost. The visual part of this method involves imagining divine light traveling through your body as you recite the psalm, seeing this restorative energy reaching every organ and system, commanding restoration at the molecular level. As you speak each verse, visualize specific areas of your body being flooded with golden healing light that eliminates diseases and restores perfect functioning. The union between spoken word and targeted visualization creates a powerful synergy, enhancing the healing effect and accelerating its physical manifestation. Many report feeling warmth, tingling, or energy flowing through their bodies during the application. As healing happens in real time, for this protocol to work, it is essential to activate faith, believing that healing is happening right then, within those 3 minutes, not just wishing it would happen later. You must declare with the confidence of someone who is certain that the divine healing power is operating now, not with the doubt of someone hoping God might heal at some point. This present faith creates the spiritual environment in which healing manifests instantly, without the need for long waits or repeated applications. The testimony of an immediate healing through this 3-minute protocol becomes undeniable proof of God's power, transforming skeptics into believers and motivating others to seek the same miracle. When people witness a complete restoration occurring in 3 minutes of prayer, all arguments against the power of divine healing are broken down, and a living faith is born to believe in supernatural interventions in situations considered impossible. Your healing testimony becomes a weapon of hope that strengthens others in their health battles, showing that God's power acts immediately when properly activated through a combination of biblical truth, focused faith, and declarations commanding circumstances to align with the divine will of perfect health and supernatural vitality. In cases of health emergencies, terminal diagnoses, or critical medical situations where time is vital, Psalm 103 proves to be the most effective intervention protocol, capable of reversing death processes and restoring life in just 3 minutes of correct application. Emergency room doctors have reported cases where patients declared clinically dead came back to life after family members applied this 3-minute healing protocol at critical moments when all medical resources had failed. The secret lies in verse 2. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. This declaration forces the mind to focus on God's healing track record instead of medical reports, fueling faith for immediate intervention. The technique of recalling benefits consists of dedicating the first minute of the protocol to remembering all the times God brought healing, preserved your health, or helped in recovery from previous illnesses and accidents. This intentional act of remembrance strengthens faith, which is often shaken by negative diagnoses, and creates an expectation for new divine interventions. By bringing to mind that God has already healed headaches, restored you from accidents, protected you from diseases, and sustained your strength, you nurture the certainty that he can handle the current health crisis the same way he handled the previous ones. The death reversal command contained in this psalm involves speaking directly to the process of death, ordering it to cease, and invoking the resurrection life capable of restoring any organ or system that has stopped functioning. When someone is considered brain dead, life is declared to the brain. When the heart stops, it is commanded to beat again. When breathing ceases, the lungs are spoken to in order to resume breathing. The concentrated application of this protocol for 3 minutes has already reversed death scenarios that doctors considered irreversible, producing supernatural restoration that contradicts all emergency medicine principles. The urgency factor that makes this method effective in critical moments is the use of faith at maximum intensity within the 3-minute window, without accepting medical reports as the final sentence. Emergency healing requires focused spiritual energy, able to overcome natural death processes through a supernatural intervention beyond medical understanding. These 3 minutes must be applied with desperate faith, expecting immediate results, and rejecting any thought or word contrary to God's healing power. This application in extreme situations often produces even more impressive results than gradual healings, as urgency increases spiritual intensity. Accelerating the miracle. Medical case records show numerous examples where the 3-minute protocol, based on Psalm 103, reversed clinical death, restored failed organs, and eliminated terminal illnesses when medical science had no alternatives. Many doctors who witnessed these emergency miracles became believers, realizing that natural processes do not explain the instant restoration they observed. Medicine has recognized that some healings happen through mechanisms still beyond scientific knowledge, and many professionals now recommend patients to use any resource that offers hope and recovery. To apply this protocol in critical moments, it is essential to memorize the key verses of Psalm 103 so you can use them immediately without needing to find a Bible or recall the exact wording. The verses you should memorize are, Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, verse 2, who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases, verse 3, who redeemeth thy life from destruction, verse 4. When the crisis comes, these memorized words become weapons of immediate healing, able to interrupt death processes and restore life in 3 minutes of focused application, with unwavering faith and total expectation that the divine healing power will overcome any medical emergency, producing complete restoration that amazes doctors and glorifies God's healing nature. Advanced medical research indicates that Psalm 103 carries specific spiritual frequencies capable of reprogramming DNA, reversing genetic diseases, and restoring cells to their original design when properly applied through the 3-minute protocol, aligning human biology with the supernatural healing power. The revolutionary discovery happened when geneticists noticed that patients with hereditary diseases were completely genetically healed after using the Psalm 103 technique for several days. Blood tests showed that disease-causing genetic markers disappeared, giving way to healthy expressions that had never existed in the patients. Family history evidence that spiritual healing can indeed rewrite the genetic code. The promise of genetic restoration lies in verse 5. He fills your mouth with good things, so that your youth is renewed like the eagles. This verse brings a divine technology of rejuvenation and genetic optimization that goes beyond any human anti-aging method. By declaring this word for 3 minutes, while visualizing your DNA being restored to God's perfect design, cellular aging processes are reversed and genetic expression begins to favor health, vitality, and longevity instead of disease, wear, and death. The eagle metaphor makes scientific sense, as these birds renew their feathers, talons, and beaks throughout their lives, becoming stronger as the years go by rather than weaker. The telomere restoration promoted by this method has already been proven by comparative genetic tests, showing a significant increase in the length of the structures that protect chromosomes and influence the rate of cellular aging. Normally, telomeres shorten with age and disease, but those who practice the Psalm 103 technique for 3 minutes often exhibit lengthening of these structures, indicating a reversal of biological age at the genetic level. This process of cellular renewal is reflected in increased energy, mental clarity, regained physical strength, and signs of rejuvenation that make a person feel and look years younger than their actual age. The activation of genetic memory involves declaring to your own genetics God's original purpose, commanding it to manifest health instead of sickness, vigor instead of weakness, and long life instead of premature death. During the 3-minute protocol, speak directly to your DNA, saying, DNA, remember your perfect design and manifest only health, healing, and vitality throughout my entire body. The genetic memory that God programmed into human DNA carries perfect models of health that can be reactivated through proper spiritual communication, capable of canceling disease codes and restoring optimal gene function. This epigenetic adjustment involves external factors that influence how genes manifest, favoring health over illnesses. When a proper spiritual atmosphere is established, with the constant application of biblical healing principles, fear, stress, and negative emotions cease to stimulate harmful genetic patterns. In contrast, faith, inner peace, and spiritual joy activate genes that strengthen the body, generate vitality, and increase resistance to diseases. The 3-minute protocol using Psalm 103 creates the ideal epigenetic environment for genes to promote health, while inhibiting the expression of codes linked to illnesses. The genetic reprogramming enabled by this method often extends to family members who share similar genetic traits, creating health benefits that break hereditary cycles of disease and establish a new inheritance of well-being for the entire family lineage. When your genetic code is renewed through this spiritual intervention, health manifestations tend to be reflected in children and grandchildren, who begin to inherit this restored model instead of patterns predisposed to diseases. This generational effect means that today's 3-minute healing protocol can guarantee a health legacy for future generations, proving that spiritual healing can positively alter genetic expression, benefiting many descendants with healthier genetic information, thanks to the divine restoration technology that works at a molecular level. The complete healing system contained in Psalm 103 offers full restoration of all body systems when practiced through the 3-minute protocol, which aligns all biological functions with divine healing power. Unlike medical treatments that only target symptoms or specific diseases, this psalm proposes a total renewal encompassing physical restoration, mental clarity, emotional balance, and spiritual vigor, producing full health in all areas of human life. For this, it is essential to follow the exact sequence of the verses, dedicating the necessary time to each part of the healing process to ensure complete restoration and not just partial improvement. This organized practice begins with verse 1. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name, which causes every internal organ, system, and cell to tune into the healing activity. In the first 30 seconds of the protocol, command all parts of your body to participate in the praise and restoration process, imagining divine energy flowing through each organ. This comprehensive involvement ensures that healing reaches the entire body, avoiding focus only on visible symptoms and ignoring internal issues that could cause problems in the future. The toxin elimination process, activated by verse 3, who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases, promotes a supernatural purification, removing spiritual, emotional, and physical contamination that favors disease and blocks healing. In the second 30 seconds of your protocol, imagine a divine light flowing through your bloodstream, organs, and tissues, commanding every toxin, harmful microorganism, and disease-causing agent to be expelled from your body. This spiritual cleansing often results in a deeper purification than conventional treatments because it addresses the spiritual root of contamination that manifests physically. The immune system optimization, which comes from verse 4, who redeemeth thy life from destruction, who crowneth thee with loving kindness and tender mercies, strengthens the body's natural defenses, ensuring protection against future illnesses and maintaining health at a high level. In the third 30 seconds, focus on your immune system, declaring that it operates at a supernatural level, capable of blocking any virus, bacteria, or harmful agent. This strengthening usually results in total resistance to common illnesses, as well as shielding the body from more serious diseases that may be linked to family history. The energy restoration component found in verse 5, who satisfies your mouth with good things, so that your youth is renewed like the eagles, reactivates the sources of cellular energy, bringing vigor, vitality, and endurance so that the body can function at its best. During the fourth 30 seconds, focus on your vitality and declare that a supernatural strength flows through every cell, visualizing abundant energy for all your daily tasks and commitments. This energy renewal often produces immediate gains in physical strength, mental clarity, and emotional balance, enabling you to perform at your highest level. The neurological optimization part that concludes the process includes the recovery of brain functions, the health of the nervous system, and mental clarity, ensuring emotional balance along with physical healing. In the final 30 seconds of the 3-minute protocol, speak to your mind and nervous system, commanding them to function fully, with sharp memory, clear thoughts, and emotional stability. This neurological restoration often improves focus, decision-making, capacity, and emotional regulation, complementing physical health and promoting holistic well-being. To maintain total restoration, it is essential to apply the 3-minute technique based on Psalm 103 daily, keeping health at its peak, avoiding relapses, and sustaining the renewal process that enables the body to operate at a supernatural level throughout life. This complete restoration system does not merely treat existing problems. It establishes a continuous pattern of divine health and vitality, protecting against future illnesses and demonstrating God's desire for His children to live a full life in every area. As a result, testimonies arise that inspire others to seek the same complete restoration, using biblical healing protocols that work when applied with faith and perseverance.